Hello, everyone. So we have been seeing React for quite a long time now. Let's recap the whole thing that we did in this video. So to create a new React application, we're going to use the NPM and we are going to create a new React application. So it's going to be NPM create React app. And we're going to give a new name for our application. We'll call this product app. And since we are going to do the installation as well, we saw that it's not npm and it's npx. So that should create a new React application. Now that's our new application that's created. You can see that it has created the application. Also, it suggests the way to create, the way to execute the application. So let's execute this application right here. For that, I'm going to traverse inside the folder and call npm and say start. So that's going to start the server. Meanwhile, let's open the folder. So I've opened the folder in Visual Studio Code. We already saw that we have the public folder where we have the index.html, but it is going to go ahead and make the call to the div root. Now, the div root is where we are going to actually insert our React component. Now, how does that happen? Now, you can see that we have the other sources and details about the application in the manifest. But inside the SRC is where we have the whole React app. Now, we have the index.js, which has the app, which is going to be injected into the place where it says div root. Now, the app component contributes towards this element right here. Now, that is given by the app.js. We can see the import here, app.js. Now, the app.js contains this content, which eventually is displayed in our browser as localhost and host 30. Now, this is where the component comes up. We already saw this, just explaining the working. That's pretty much it. So let me delete the content of the app and just close the div. Now that's just a plain div inside the app. Let's just call for h1 and say hello to React. That should do the trick. And we could get rid of the whole of CSS that's there. All the way down. And if we move to our browser, it says hello to React, which exactly is the content what we provided here. Now, we were talking about how to create a component. So the best practice actually is creating a folder, which calls components. And then we could be creating a component right here as a new file. Let's call this as product.js. Now, our first step is to import React. The second step, in case you have a CSS, we have to import the CSS file. Let's add a CSS as well. Product.css. And here we're going to say dot product, which is going to be the class that we're going to define. Here we will just call the width and the height of the product with, let's say, 250 or 20% or 30%. And let's call for the height and say it's again 20%. Alrighty. Now that should do the trick of providing the width and the height of the product.js. So how do you import the CSS? We already saw this. So we're going to go to the current folder called product.css. So that's going to be the import statement for the CSS. How do we create our component? For that, we're just going to write a function. I'm going to call the function product. As of now, it does not take any parameters. And we are going to say that it's going to just return Within the parenthesis, let's close the whole content with the div. We already saw that we have to give all the content inside one element, right? And we are going to go ahead and provide the style for the same. We're going to say the class name is equal to product. And we will call for some content, which should be H2. Say product details. Now that should be our product right there. How do you export this function? Or export and default for product. So that's what we're going to export from right here, right? Go to the app.js. We're going to go ahead and inside the product, we're going to call inside the app, we're going to call for product. That should import the product right there. There's no content for our product. So we can see that there's a product right there. So if we look at the browser right now, we should be having the product details and the product, right? So this is what we saw in the first. So we just putting things together and understanding how it works.